In a serene suburban neighborhood, where tidy lawns gleamed under the sun, Alex lived with his busy parents, Mr. and Mrs. Anderson. Their demanding jobs left him alone in their quiet home, its silence a stark contrast to the street's gentle hum. They entrusted Alex to Samantha, a stylish neighbor whose warm smiles won their trust. "If not for Samantha, we'd struggle," Mrs. Anderson said, planning a gift, but Alex saw her true face, her kindness a mask. Alone, she brought unsettling movies, dismissing his unease with a laugh. "These are better, Alex. Stop being a baby." Her touches, too close, chilled him. Yet he felt voiceless, a folktale child in a deceiver's web, the neighborhood's calm hiding a growing shadow. The suburban home, its polished floors gleaming under soft light, became a cage for Alex as Samantha's unsettling touches and dismissive tone, "You're a big boy now," deepened his fear. Desperate, he tried to confide in his mother, "Mom, I need to talk about Samantha." But her ringing phone cut him off, and she never returned to hear him. His father, drained from work, brushed him aside. "I'm too tired, Alex." The house's ticking clocks echoed his isolation, his voice stifled by his parents' distractions. Like a folk-tale child silenced by enchantment, Alex's frustration grew, his small heart heavy with an unheard secret. The neighborhood's calm, with its manicured lawns, masked the danger within, Samantha's facade unchallenged, leaving Alex alone in his silent struggle. The communal trust a deceptive veil over his mounting dread. Samantha's visits darkened Alex's suburban home, its plush couch a trap under her gaze. She brought loud, unsettling movies, ignoring his pleas for cartoons. "This is what we're watching?" she snapped, her laugh sharp, dismissing his protests. "You'll learn to like it." The living room's soft glow clashed with the film's jarring sounds, Alex's restlessness growing as she glued to her phone, her attention only sharpening to scold him for resisting. "Stop being a baby," she mocked, her tone cutting through the hum of the TV. Like a folktale child ensnared by a deceiver's charm, Alex felt powerless, his small frame sinking into the couch, the neighborhood's quiet lawns hiding Samantha's tightening control, her false kindness a veil over a growing menace, the house's warmth a deceptive shield against his silent dread. The suburban living room, its soft lamplight casting shadows on family photos, became a suffocating stage for Alex as Samantha's control tightened. Her visits, once cloaked in neighborly charm, now bore a sinister edge, her insistence on unsettling movies a daily torment. When Alex dared to resist, suggesting, "Can we watch the cartoon my mom got?" Samantha's sharp gaze silenced him. "This is what we're watching," she snapped, her dismissive laugh cutting through the TV's jarring noise. "Stop being a baby," she mocked, her tone a blade that pierced his small courage. The room's plush couch, once a haven, felt like a trap, the suburban neighborhood's quiet lawns a deceptive veil over the growing menace within, Alex's heart pounding with unease, a folktale child ensnared by a deceiver's cunning, akin to phase trials in the African tales you admire. Samantha's boldness escalated, her scolding turning cruel when Alex tried to act. One day, reaching to turn off the TV, he was met with her swift grab, yanking the remote away. "Don't touch that!" she barked, her cheerful mask slipping, revealing a flash of malice. Alex froze, his small frame trembling, the room's warm glow clashing with her cold authority. At dinner he mustered courage, his voice soft. "Mom, I need to tell you about Samantha." But Mrs. Anderson's phone rang, her "Hold on, Alex" fading as she walked away, leaving his words unheard. The dining table, laden with steaming dishes, stood in stark contrast to his churning fear, his fork twisting in his hand as hope slipped away, the ticking clock a reminder of his parents' distraction, their trust in Samantha a folk-tale enchantment blinding them to his silent plea. The next day, Samantha's intrusion deepened, her presence invasive as she sat too close, her touches, patting his leg, brushing his hair, crossing boundaries that chilled him. "Can we watch cartoons?" he begged, his voice a whisper. But she ignored him, her smile a hollow mask. The living room's hum, with its flickering TV and soft carpet, turned oppressive. Alex's resistance a flicker of defiance against her dominance, his small heart battling a growing dread, the neighborhood's calm a cruel irony, masking the danger within. His struggle a silent cry in a world deaf to his voice. The Anderson home, its suburban warmth dimmed by Samantha's looming presence, became a shadowed prison for Alex. Her visits, cloaked in neighborly charm, grew menacing, her control a suffocating veil over the living room's soft light. No longer content with unsettling movies, Samantha's violations escalated. Her touches, lingering hugs, hands brushing his leg too long, crossing boundaries that chilled his small frame. "Stop it, I don't like this," Alex protested, his voice firm but quaking, the plush couch a trap beneath her gaze. She laughed, her tone dripping with dismissal. "Don't be silly, you're a big boy now, relax." Her words, sharp as thorns, stung his courage, tears pricking his eyes as he felt powerless. A folktale child ensnared by a deceiver's spell, akin to phase trials in the African tales you cherish. Samantha's boldness intensified, her favorite DVDs now darker, their unfamiliar covers unsettling. "These are for big people, Alex," she smirked, ignoring his plea. "Can we watch cartoons?" When he covered his eyes, recoiling from the screen's jarring scenes, she mocked, "Stop being shy. You need to learn this someday." The living room's hum, with its flickering TV and ticking clock, turned oppressive. The suburban neighborhood's quiet lawns a cruel facade masking her predation. Alex's heart raced, his small hands clutching the couch, each forced viewing a violation of his innocence, the soft carpet beneath his feet a hollow comfort against her unrelenting pressure. Her laughter, once playful, now carried a sinister edge, her confidence unshaken by his resistance. The house, with its framed photos and warm hues, felt like a labyrinth, Alex's voice drowned by Samantha's dominance. He longed to escape, to tell his parents, but their trust in her, "She's such a help," loomed like a folktale enchantment, blinding them to his silent suffering. The TV's glow cast eerie shadows, mirroring his growing dread, the neighborhood's calm a deceptive shroud over a danger only he could see, his small spirit battling a predator's grip, yearning for a voice to break the spell. The suburban living room, its warm glow from soft lamps now a flickering veil, turned chilling as Samantha's behavior grew brazen. No longer hiding her intent, she pushed boundaries further, her unsettling DVDs replaced with ones bearing ominous covers that made Alex's stomach churn. "These are for big people, Alex," she smirked, dismissing his plea. "I don't want to watch that." When he shielded his eyes from the screen's disturbing scenes, she scoffed, "Stop being shy. You'll understand someday." The TV's harsh light cast jagged shadows, the room's plush carpet and cozy couch a cruel mockery of safety. Alex's small frame trembling under her unrelenting gaze, a folktale child trapped by a predator's cunning, akin to phase trials in the African tales you cherish. Samantha's violations peaked when, without warning, she began changing clothes in front of him, her casual laugh, "It's no big deal, you'll get it when you're older," clashing with Alex's shaky protest, "Why are you doing that?" Her confidence, unnerving and bold, silenced his resistance, her presence a suffocating weight. When he tried to flee, she grabbed his wrist, her tone deceptively playful, "Don't be dramatic, sit down." The living room's hum, with its ticking clock and distant suburban calm, became a prison, Alex's heart racing as her actions stripped his sense of safety. The neighborhood's manicured lawns visible through the window hid a danger only he perceived, his small voice drowned by her dominance, a silent cry lost in the house's sterile warmth. At dinner, his parents' praise for Samantha, "She's such a help," crushed Alex's hope. "We're lucky to have her," Mrs. Anderson said, planning a gift, unaware of his dread. The dining room's soft light and clinking dishes contrasted with his churning fear, his fork idle as their trust in her loomed like a folk-tale enchantment, blinding them to his suffering. Alex's eyes stung with unshed tears, the weight of his secret a heavy yoke, the suburban night a deceptive shroud over a predator's shadow, his resolve to speak, faltering under the burden of being unheard, yearning for a way to break free. The Anderson household, its suburban facade of manicured lawns and glowing windows, masked a growing darkness as Alex's fear of Samantha deepened. Her unsettling movies and invasive touches had turned the living room's cozy glow into a chilling prison, her false smiles a deceptive veil over her predatory intent. Desperate to break free, Alex sought to confide in his parents, but their preoccupation formed an impenetrable barrier. At dinner, their praise for Samantha, "She's like family," Mrs. Anderson said, planning a gift basket, crushed his hope, the dining room's warm light and clinking silverware a cruel contrast to his silent dread. "Mom, Dad," he whispered, voice trembling. But Mr. Anderson's chuckle, "You like her, right? She's fun," silenced him, his small hands fidgeting with his fork, the weight of their trust a folktale enchantment blinding them to his pain, akin to phase trials in the African tales you cherish. The next day, Samantha's arrival was a storm cloud, her sharp grin cutting through the house's sterile calm. Sensing no resistance, she grew bolder, following Alex to his room when he retreated. "Why are you hiding? Don't you like me anymore?" she taunted, leaning against the doorframe, her voice a mix of mockery and menace. The room with its soft bed and scattered toys felt like a trap, Alex's heart pounding as he avoided her gaze. "I don't want to," he mumbled, but she pulled him back to the living room, her grip firm despite her playful tone. "Come on, let's watch something fun." The TV's hum and flickering light resumed, another unsettling film filling the space, Alex's small frame sinking into the couch, his resistance a flickering ember against her dominance. The suburban neighborhood's quiet streets a hollow shield against her escalating control. Each attempt to speak was thwarted. His parents' distractions, their unwavering trust in Samantha, left Alex's voice unheard. "We'll talk later," Mrs. Anderson said, rushing to chores while Mr. Anderson's exhaustion brushed him off. The house's ticking clocks and polished floors echoed his isolation, a folk-tale child's plea lost in a world deaf to his suffering. Samantha's presence, once a neighborly comfort, now loomed like a predator's shadow, her boldness unchecked by the community's blind faith. Alex's fear a silent cry beneath the suburban calm, his resolve waning, yet clinging to a hope that someone would listen, the night's stillness a fragile pause in his ongoing battle. The Anderson home, its suburban calm a fragile mask, grew oppressive as Samantha's shadow loomed larger over Alex. The living room's soft glow, once a haven, now flickered with menace, her unsettling movies and invasive touches a daily torment. Seeking refuge, Alex retreated to his room, its scattered toys and cozy bed a fleeting sanctuary. But Samantha, her grin sharp as a blade, followed, leaning against the doorframe. "People, you hidin', Alex. Don't you like me any more?" she taunted, her voice a deceptive lilt, a folktale predator cloaked in charm akin to the trials Fae faced in the African tales you cherish. His heart pounded, the room's warm hues clashing with her cold intrusion, the suburban neighborhood's quiet lawns a hollow shield against her escalating control. Unfazed by his silence, Samantha grabbed his hand, pulling him back to the living room, her grip firm despite her playful tone. "Let's watch something fun together," she insisted, her eyes glinting with intent. She produced a new DVD, its cover unsettling, and proposed a game. "Why don't we practice what we're watching?" she said, her smile unnerving. "It'll be fun, you're a big boy now." Alex frowned, confused. "Practice what?" Her vague response, "Just a little pretend," chilled him, the TV's filling the room with jarring scenes, the plush couch a trap beneath her gaze. Reluctantly he nodded, feeling cornered, his small frame sinking under her pressure, a folk-tale child ensnared by a deceiver's spell, his resistance a flickering ember against her manipulative dominance. At dinner, the dining room's warm light and clinking dishes belied Alex's turmoil. His parents, oblivious, praised Samantha. "She's been such a help," Mrs. Anderson said, smiling. "I'm thinking of baking her a cake." Mr. Anderson nodded. "She deserves it." Alex's stomach churned, their trust in her a folk-tale enchantment blinding them to his silent suffering. He gripped his fork, wanting to shout the truth, but their words, "She's like family," crushed his courage. The suburban night's stillness, a deceptive shroud over his dread, his small heart heavy with a secret he couldn't voice. the communal faith in Samantha a barrier to his plea for help. Beneath the suburban glow of the Anderson home, where soft lights masked a growing darkness, Samantha's manipulations tightened around Alex. The living room, its plush carpet and humming TV a facade of normalcy, became a stage for her chilling games. She sat beside him, waving a DVD, her voice sweet but laced with menace. "Let's practice what we're watching, Alex," she urged, her smile unsettling. "It's just fun. Don't you want to have fun?" Alex, his small frame tense, felt trapped, the scenes on the screen jarring, his heart pounding as he mumbled, "I don't know." Her insistence, "You can handle this, you're a big boy," pushed him into activities he sensed were wrong. A folktale child caught in a predator's web, akin to Faye's resilience in the African tales you admire. His innocence a fragile shield against her dominance. As discomfort gnawed, Alex mustered courage to question her. "Auntie Samantha, why are you doing this? Don't you have a boyfriend?" Her mask slipped, a bitter edge surfacing. "Since my boyfriend left, I won't let men control me," she said, her dry laugh chilling. "I'll use them before they use me." Her words turned darker. "You're not as small as you think, Alex. You'll understand soon." The room's warm hues clashed with her cold revelation. The suburban neighborhood's quiet lawns, a cruel irony, hiding her twisted motives. Alex's fear surged, her words a venomous spell, yet they sparked a resolve, a flicker of defiance to break free, the ticking clock a reminder of his silenced voice. That night, as he lay in bed, the house's stillness amplified his racing thoughts. Samantha's actions, her touches, her games, were wrong. Her chilling promise of understanding a threat he couldn't ignore. He'd tried to tell his parents, but their trust in her, "She's such a help," blocked his path. The suburban night, with its distant hum, offered no solace. His fear, a heavy yoke. Yet, like a folk-tale hero seeking a new ally, Alex resolved to find another way, to speak to someone who'd listen, his small heart clinging to hope despite the predator's shadow, the communal faith in Samantha a deceptive barrier he vowed to overcome, his determination a quiet flame in the darkness. The quiet hum of the suburban school, its bright classrooms lined with colorful posters, offered Alex a fleeting refuge from the oppressive shadow of Samantha's manipulations. Her chilling games, unsettling movies, and predatory words, "You're not as small as you think," had left him trapped in fear. His parents' blind trust in her a folktale enchantment that silenced his pleas. Yet within the school's safe walls, a spark of courage flickered, urging him to seek help. Clutching his resolve, Alex waited for recess, the playground's chatter fading as he approached his teacher, Mrs. Brown, her desk a haven of books and warmth, her kind eyes a beacon of trust, steadied his trembling heart, a folk-tale child seeking a wise elder to break a deceiver's spell, akin to Faye's resilience in the African tales you cherish. "Mrs. Brown, can I talk to you?" Alex whispered, his voice quaking, hands fidgeting as he stood before her. She smiled warmly, setting aside her papers. "Of course, Alex, what's on your mind?" The classroom's soft light and faint chalk scent enveloped him, a contrast to the living room's menacing glow where Samantha's presence loomed. Taking a deep breath, Alex poured out his truth, tears streaming as he recounted her actions, the strange movies, her invasive touches, her dismissive taunts. "You're a big boy now." "She makes me feel scared," he choked, his small frame trembling, the weight of his secret spilling like a river breaking free. Miss Brown listened, her face growing grave, her gentle nod a silent vow to hear him, the room's quiet amplifying the gravity of his words, a village council weighing a child's cry against a hidden menace. As Alex finished, Mrs. Brown knelt, her hand gentle on his shoulder. "You're very brave, Alex. I'm so proud of you," she said softly, her voice a soothing balm. But her next words stunned him. "Samantha's my younger sister." Alex's eyes widened, his breath catching, fear flashing as he whispered, "Your sister?" The revelation, a folktale twist of kinship with a villain, shook his trust, the classroom's warmth flickering like a candle in a storm. Yet Mrs. Brown's steady gaze held firm. "Listen to me, Alex. I promise I'll talk to her and make sure this never happens again. You don't need to tell anyone else. I'll take care of it." Her assurance? A village elder's pledge, aimed to shield him, but a shadow of doubt lingered. Her familial tie, a knot in his fragile hope. The suburban school's bright walls, a fragile bulwark against his fear. That evening, Mrs. Brown marched to Samantha's home, the neighborhood's manicured lawns silent under the dusk's soft glow. Samantha opened her door, her cheerful smile fading as she met her sister's stern face. "What's wrong?" she asked, feigning innocence. But Mrs. Brown stepped inside, closing the door with a thud. "I know what you've been doing to Alex," she said, her voice firm, cutting through the suburban calm. "He told me everything." Samantha's face paled, her protest, "I didn't mean to," silenced by Mrs. Brown's sharp rebuke. "There's no excuse. You've hurt that boy and it stops now. If you go near him again, I'll call the police." Samantha's eyes welled with tears, her sobs, "I'm so sorry, I won't do it again." A plea that wavered between remorse and fear. Mrs. Brown, her heart torn by love and doubt, warned, "This is your only chance." Her words a folktale decree. The house's quiet a tense backdrop to a confrontation that promised protection, yet left justice uncertain. The next day at school, Alex approached Mrs. Brown, his small voice hesitant. "Did you talk to Samantha? Is she going to jail?" Her gentle smile masked a flicker of unease. "I spoke to her, Alex. She promised to stop. You don't have to worry anymore." But Alex frowned, his hope dimming. "She should be punished. She did something bad." Mrs. Brown nodded. "I understand. But sometimes people need a chance to change. Let's see if she keeps her promise." Her words, meant to soothe, felt hollow. Alex's heart sinking with disappointment. The classroom's bright posters a stark contrast to his lingering fear. A folktale hero's plea for justice met with a fragile compromise. The suburban world's calm hiding a truth yet to be fully unveiled. The suburban neighborhood, its manicured lawns bathed in the soft glow of dusk, hid a chilling truth as Samantha's menace tightened around Alex. After confiding in Mrs. Brown, hoping for justice, her promise to stop Samantha had faltered, leaving him vulnerable. Samantha, undeterred, returned with a colder edge, her usual smile now a sharp blade. "You told Mrs. Brown about me, didn't you?" she hissed, kneeling to meet his eyes, her voice icy. Alex froze, his heart pounding, stammering, "I didn't mean to." Her face hardened, her threat a venomous whisper, "Tell anyone again, and I'll send you to a place of no return where no one will find you." The living room's warm light clashed with her menace, the plush couch a trap, Alex's knees buckling under her words. A folktale child ensnared by a predator's curse, akin to Faye's trials in the African tales you cherish. Tears welled as Samantha's false sweetness returned. "Good boy, let's act like nothing happened." Alex nodded, terror silencing him, the house's ticking clock a relentless echo of his isolation. The suburban calm with its quiet streets and glowing windows masked a danger only he knew, his parents' trust in Samantha. She's like family. A folktale enchantment blinding them. Alone on the couch, the TV's hum a hollow drone, Alex felt trapped, his fear a heavy yoke, each attempt to speak thwarted by dismissal or distraction, the neighborhood's facade a cruel shroud over his silent suffering. A weekend with his grandmother, Nana Mary, offered a glimmer of hope. Her countryside home, with its creaking porch and blooming garden, was a sanctuary of warmth, the scent of fresh bread and wildflowers a stark contrast to the Anderson house's sterile chill. Nana Mary, her eyes kind and knowing, noticed Alex's quiet demeanor, his usual spark dim. On the porch, under the soft rustle of leaves, she gently asked, "Is something bothering you, Alex?" Her voice, a village elder's wisdom, pierced his fear, her presence a safe haven. Hesitating, Alex's small voice broke. "Nana, can I tell you something?" Tears streamed as he poured out Samantha's abuses, the movies, touches, threats. His words a river breaking free, the countryside's calm amplifying his courage, a folktale hero finding an ally against a deceiver's spell. Nanama, Mary's heart shattered, her arms enveloping him. "Oh, my sweet boy, you did the right thing," she said, tears falling, her resolve ironclad. Without delay, she called the police, her voice steady as she relayed Alex's story. The next morning, officers arrived, their uniforms stark against the garden's bloom, their faces serious yet kind. Sitting with Nana Mary's hand in his, Alex recounted everything, his voice quaking but clear, the porch's creaking boards a grounding rhythm. "You're very brave," an officer said, nodding, the countryside's open sky a testament to a truth finally heard, the communal spirit of justice stirring, Alex's courage a beacon in the face of a predator's shadow, the path to healing beginning under Nana Mary's protective embrace. Under the golden light of Nana Mary's countryside home, where wild flowers swayed in the breeze, Alex found refuge after his courageous revelation. The police, moved by his truth, acted swiftly, storming Samantha's suburban doorstep. Her cheerful facade crumbled as officers declared, "Samantha Thompson, you're under arrest for inappropriate behavior toward a minor." Her protests, "I'd never do that," fell flat. Handcuffs clicking as neighbors whispered, their trust shattered, the manicured lawns a silent witness to justice's arrival. Mrs. Brown faced her reckoning too, called from her classroom, her face ashen. "You're under arrest for failing to report abuse," an officer said, her trembling plea. "I warned her." Unheeded. "You put Alex in danger," they retorted, leading her away. Her shame a public spectacle, folktale villain's downfall before the village council, echoing Faye's triumph in the African tales you cherish. The police deemed Alex's parents unfit, their neglect were too busy blinding them to his suffering. Nana Mary, her heart a haven, welcomed him to stay, her home's creaking porch and warm kitchen a sanctuary. "You'll stay with me now, no one will hurt you," she vowed, her embrace of folktale elders' protection, the countryside's open fields a stark contrast to the Anderson house's sterile cage. With her love, Alex began to heal, her fresh-baked cookies and bedtime stories a balm to his wounded spirit. Therapy, guided by a gentle counselor, helped him understand, it wasn't your fault. The sessions a village healer's ritual, mending his trust, the scent of lavender and soft chairs grounding his fragile hope. One evening, as fireflies danced outside, Alex sat with Nana Mary on the porch, the creak of her rocking chair a soothing rhythm. "Will I ever stop feeling scared?" he asked, his small voice hesitant. She wrapped him in her arms, her voice steady. "Yes, my dear, it'll take time, but you'll feel better. I'll always be here." Her words a folktale promise, kindled hope, Alex's smile a flicker of light in his healing heart. The countryside's starry sky, vast and serene, mirrored his growing peace. Nana Mary's love, a communal fire warming his soul, the suburban nightmare fading like a distant echo. The story's call to viewers, what lessons did you take away? Resonated, urging reflection on listening to children, a village's duty to protect its young. Alex's journey from fear to healing stood as a beacon, his courage a testament to resilience. The countryside home a folktale haven where love and justice prevailed, his future bright under Nana Mary's unwavering care, the world beyond a canvas for hope renewed.